Well, what an extraordinary time we've had in this magnificent city of Vancouver. It's always wonderful when our community gathers. It's always special. But I think we all know that Vancouver 2015 was truly special. I want to thank you all for your engagement, for your participation, your energy, your hard work, and to all who brought and presented your science, deep thanks. I also want to thank all of you who chaired sessions for us, our incredibly busy rapporteurs, wonderful job, all of you and your teams, the plenary speakers who did such fantastic jobs across their fields, and of course, the terrific volunteers who've been helping us all through the week. How to summarize the amazing amount of thought and science presented at IAS 2015? I think the key word that comes home for me is consensus. There is a Vancouver consensus, and I hope you've all signed it. But more importantly, that we'll all carry that consensus forward with us as we leave Vancouver and go back to our lives and our work. We came to consensus, I think, around three critical strands of evidence that were presented at this conference. Early treatment, the START and Temprano results that you've heard about. Treatment as prevention, the final results of HPTN 052. And of course, the array of studies on PrEP, really demonstrating implementation and the beginning of the real-world uptake and use of this new intervention. Taken together, they make a compelling case. They make the consensus for universal access to ART for treatment and prevention. And we have consensus as we leave Vancouver to really draw a line in the sand and say now is the time to move forward on access and implementation. We also have a consensus, I think, that we don't and can't give up on the research effort, that we need a cure, we need a vaccine, and we need to continue the research effort. Yeah, that's right. Making this new consensus a reality, as Marama was saying so clearly, will be fundamentally linked to our ability to overcome the barriers that are still in front of us. We need to grow the community infrastructure that drives demand for the large-scale uptake of expanded testing and treatment. We need to draw a line in the sand on unacceptable stockouts and the disruption of medicines and programs that my friend and colleague Michelle Kazachkin was talking about, for example, in Ukraine. We need to continue to support our community and their rights to universal access, and that means supporting and advocating and building true enabling environments. And I think Evan Wood's plenary on that topic was just so profound. An enabling environment that places people at the epicenter and that really addresses the stigma and discrimination that we all know continue to be the biggest single barrier that we face. We need to grow partnerships that transform the negative impact of policing and criminal justice and drug policy in so many countries into opportunities based on protection of human dignity and the fundamental human right to access to health care. Yeah. I trust this conference has been good for you, and I'm absolutely certain that it has been good for the response to this epidemic. I'd like to thank again all who were involved in making this happen, but in particular, of course, my wonderful co-chair, Julio Montaner, and his team here in British Columbia, our hosts, who have just been absolutely amazing. And Julio, you have been an inspiring co-chair, and you really ought to be proud of what you've achieved here and what we know you're going to continue to fight for. And I have to say a special thanks to our IAS staff, to Owen Ryan, Megan Warren, and their team for really seamlessly putting this meeting together. Also, of course, our deep gratitude to our industry sponsors, AbbVie, Gilead, MSD, and ViiV Healthcare. Industry is an essential partner in helping to end this epidemic, and your support is really, truly appreciated. I look forward to the next time that we will gather at the International AIDS Conference in Durban, South Africa. I have some good news to share on that front, which is I heard this morning from Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who's had a short hospital stay but who is now home and who is committed to opening Durban 2016 for us. Yeah. And so that, I think, will be a spectacular moment for us all. And finally, I want to reiterate Owen Ryan's comments from that opening on Sunday. This is truly your IAS. Please engage with us and help us move forward in this vital next phase of the epidemic. Thank you so much.
Just in case it's not clear what I'm going to talk to you about. I was planning to wear it, but it's too small for me. Let me start by saying that I fully echo Chris' sentiments. It's been a terrific week. Science, venue, weather, volunteers, staff, delegates, even the Pope showed up. Everything came together better than we ever anticipated. You can plan for these things, but you don't control what it's going to look like. And to be honest with you, I am delighted with how everything came together, and particularly the science and the consensus, as Chris said. It's been quite a conference, indeed a transformational week. Much as in Vancouver 1996, the One World, One Hope conference. By the way, we knew there was a world. We didn't know there was a hope then, but obviously there was one. This has been a game changer for HIV. IAS 2015, with more than 6,500 delegates from all over the world, comes on the heels of several major advancements. First, we have accomplished the Millennium Development Goal of 15 million by 2015. They thought we were not going to make it. We did it, and we did it ahead of schedule. Congratulations to us all. And particularly to those that actually made it happen, Ambassador David Berks, among others, who has been a leader in this area, and we thank you for that. Then, the recent release of the Temprano and the START trial. I won't go into the details, but you know what it means. Basically, there is now a renewed sense of urgency that we need to identify people infected with HIV so that they can help themselves, they can protect themselves against disease progression, and that they can protect others. And finally, the complete set of results of O52, which shows that basically, if you take your antiretroviral therapy right, you have 100% protection against disease progression, premature death, and 100% protection against HIV transmission. It doesn't get much better than that. The message emerging from 2015 IAS in Vancouver is clear and loud. Treatment is at the cornerstone of our strategy to prevent the continued growth of the pandemic and ultimately to control it. We leave Vancouver with a compelling body of scientific evidence. This supports the UN 90-90-90 target, which by now are probably sick and tired of hearing about. We should heed Michel Sidibe's advice and rapidly move to embrace the 90-90-90 so that by 2020 we're there, and by 2030 we can decrease morbidity, mortality, and transmission by 90% globally. It's a laudable goal. We never thought we would be in this position. We now have the roadmap. We need to just do it. As Chris said, it's time to draw a line in the sand. Today, we're telling the very many political leaders of the world who are still hesitating about financing the AIDS response, you are either with us or against us. If you are against us, you are actually promoting the spread of HIV, death, and despair, and future generations will judge you harshly for it. We want all those in need, whoever they love, whatever their drug use history is, however they earn a living, whether on or off reserve, to have facilitated access to the best HIV treatment support, care, prevention, and harm reduction as well. All of this within a culturally appropriate manner in a non-discriminatory society. Unfortunately, we're very far from those goals. Our collective hard work, passion, commitment have made all of this possible. We have come quite far, however, there is much, much more to do. Together, we can and we will stop AIDS. The question is not whether or not we're going to do it. The question is how soon and who will be with us to celebrate it. Thank you for joining us in Vancouver. We really appreciate your support and your strength. Safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you in Durban.
Thank you, Chris and Julio. As we say thank you to two of our conference co-chairs, we welcome two more. I'd like to welcome to the stage our President-elect, Professor Linda Gale Becker, and the Director of ANRS, Professor Jean-Francois Delfraissy.
Bonsoir, comment ça va? We are on our way to Paris. In the summer of 2017, the IAS Conference will be held in the very, very beautiful and historical city of Paris. This is a city that has had an extraordinarily deep history of HIV science. The research community in Paris has been to date central to the identification, treatment, prevention, and investigation of HIV, and will continue to play a significant role in the realm of HIV cure. We heard at this conference about the Paris teenager. Our beloved past IAS president and Nobel laureate, Professor Françoise Barré-Souissy of the Pasteur Institute in Paris, momentously first identified the HIV virus in 1983. We know that story well. That discovery set us on the path to all the innovation we have enjoyed in the last 30 years and have heard about even at this wonderful conference in this fantastic city of Vancouver this year in 2050. Now, nearly 35 years later, we are returning to the beautiful city of Paris and will carry the spirit of innovation on from there. This evening, it is my great pleasure to introduce an esteemed colleague and friend, Professor Jean-Francois Delfraissy, whose illustrious career has played a significant and important part in the French contribution to the fight against HIV. Jean-Francois has led the ANRS with distinction, and it is my pleasure to introduce him to you as our co-chair for IAS 2017. Your leadership, Jean-Francois, not only in our field, has paved the way for scientific progress in HIV and other infections, most recently including the West African Ebola epidemic. Jean-Francois, I look forward to leading IAS 2017 with you.
So thank you very much, Linda Gale. First of all, I would like to congratulate the IAS and the University of British Columbia for the exciting IAS conference we just had here in Vancouver. The scientific presentation and discussion have been of very high level and have marked a key step around PrEP and its feasibility, early treatment, task, and cure. Congratulations, Chris and Julio, for the excellent work you have done. I say bravo. Given the very encouraging scientific progress, there is no doubt we will be able to share exciting advances with you all within the next 2 years. In 2016, the AIDS conference in Durban will be a crucial moment to remind us of our objectives and our commitment. IAS 2017 in Paris will be the conference where innovation will be the keyword to help us move forward. Paris, and more generally France, is, as you know, strongly involved in the HIV/AIDS fight, gathering an active research community, including different institutions as INSERM and Pasteur Institute, a committed civil society, as SIDAction and aid, and political will. France is a second donator for the Global Fund and is also fully involved in UNITAID. We have a unique public research agency dedicated to coordinating and funding research on HIV/AIDS and viral hepatitis, the NRS, that I have the privilege to manage, and Françoise Barré-Sinoussi is the president of the scientific committee. Scientific collaboration with developing countries are also a major issue for INRS. This large community gathered within the NRS look forward to welcome you in Paris. Thanks again.